we would like to invite you to a back to school series with BNT.
We are thrilled that you are the kind of teacher that is ready to go and dive into some practical and creative planning with us.
This mini series is going to take you through 5 days, 5 categories of prep, and about 5 minutes each with inspiration to ensure your back to school season is fun, really fun for both you and your students, and also to set you up for a successful academic year ahead.
Head to bravenewteaching.com/back-to-school and you'll be ready to join us and look at classroom setup, community building, teacher meal prep, getting ready with us, and even our number one first day of school lesson plan.
Again, that is bravenewteaching.com/back-to-school to make sure you don't miss any of it. We'll see you there. Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching and welcome to the Back to School series with BNT. We are thrilled that you are here and ready to dive into some practical and creative planning with us.
This mini series will take you through 5 days, 5 categories, and 5 minutes of collaboration and inspiration. And we are going to ensure that your back to school season is both fun for you and your students while also set up for an academically successful year ahead. Welcome to day 1, middle and high school classroom setup.
And before we get started, cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a teacher from Southern California.
Join us at bravenewteaching.com to find out more about our courses, festivals, and get every episode's show notes.
We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show.
Back to School with BNT is sponsored by Happy Hour, the podcast's in-depth companion that offers step-by-step lesson plans, monthly resources, and a real, unfiltered look at teacher life.
Head to bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to become a member and finally feel the support of a truly open door teacher community.
When you join Happy Hour today, we are sharing our unique Trello board templates with you.
Trello is one of my absolute favorite planning tools. It is a digital planning tool, and you can drag and drop all the different features around, and that makes it so perfect for teaching because nothing is actually permanent. We're also going to give you the free version, and it's customized for everything that you're going to need.
Our template that we have for you has the next 6 months completely outlined and is waiting for your customizations as we live and breathe, everyone.
It is indispensable for batch planning and seeing the curriculum that we practice here at BNT clearly. You can look at it at a glance as well as zoomed in on the smallest detail, and you'll no longer be wasting your time or energy second-guessing yourself with your plans.
Click over to bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to register now and enjoy the show. All right, so day 1, middle school and high school classroom setup. This isn't to say necessarily that our elementary teachers can't use this information or even our post-secondary, our higher ed teachers. It's just this is what we know, so that is what we are going with. We want to be authentic with you here. And we each have one of our very best tips, not just for classroom setup in general, but for back to school classroom setup that we are really excited to share with you to help you sift through some things and get to like what's really important and what you need right now. Amanda is going to start us off.
Yeah, let me start and hear me out because I'm not trying to avoid the choosing a favorite, but here's my tip. You don't have to do everything before day 1. I cannot tell you how often that feeling would creep up on me in August that my list of everything I wanted to have done had to get done before kids came. And the longer I taught, the more I realized it just doesn't all have to be done before the kids get there. Yes, you want to have your vibe, you want to have your style, you want to have things ready for kids to walk through the door, but not every project that you've dreamed up over break needs to actually happen before kids walk in the door. Is it possible that it won't happen once you start teaching? I mean, maybe, but you also need to remember to preserve some of your energy for a lot of other things that are going to be coming your way, probably unexpectedly, faster than you know it. So I would say prioritize what matters the most to you and what you're going to need right away for your systems and routines. For me, like one of those priorities, it's not cute, you don't really see it, But for me, it was having a seating chart ready to go on day one. I always put my kids immediately into a seating chart. I know nothing about them. I know nothing about the success of these placements, but it made it really easy for me to start learning names. It made the flow of that first class period together really seamless. And then we could kind of adjust from there. So I would say, even if it's not cute, even if it's not decor, it should be something that really matters to the flow and the way that the room is going to feel as you're getting that first couple of days under your belt.
And I will say, as somebody who really does, like, I dig into decor. If you know me at all, you know that I dig into decor in my home, in my classroom and teaching spaces, in my car. Like, I like the vibe to be the vibe that I am curating. So I completely understand the want and like the need to feel comfortable in your space. So pick one thing. Pick one thing that really matters to you and do that throughout. And then the fun part too that you're creating is a space for after November break, kids come back and you've done something. Or after a weekend, kids come back. You know what I mean? Like, you'll still get that like wow factor, because that is important to me, is that wow factor that kids are excited and they see that you've decorated for fall, or like whatever. You've put up a snowscape and you're in Southern California. Oh, just me. But it's exciting and it's fun. It brings that back like whimsy and wonder and all of that. So save yourself some of that as well.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I want you to prioritize, it's your teacher area. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be completely done exactly the way you need everything, because you might need, especially if you're brand new or if you're in a newer space, you might need to live it a little bit before you really figure out what's going to work.
Sure.
But like, make it workable for the first 4 days, 5 days of school, so that like you're not going, where the heck did I put my keys? Like, you've got a spot for your keys that is designated, whether it's labeled or like a little dish, or, you know, or maybe it's not your keys, like maybe they're on a lanyard, but like you've got a hook to put your lunch bag on. You've got a specific place to put your own belongings. You've got the clipboard ready with your rosters for attendance. Like, everything is ready to rock and roll so that you don't feel scattered any more than is necessary in those first days. And then as you do it, as you use it, even like having been in my classroom for more years than I can remember right now, I change things a couple weeks in, depending on like, who am I teaching right now and what do they need from me? But I will say, I will start day one with a functional space. And that to me is the most important.
Well, and how can you enjoy all of the cool creative things that you've done if it ends up being day one and nothing you actually needed for children to function is ready to go? Because that's happened to me. Like, I've had all my really cool creative things accomplished, but then drop the ball on things like a seating chart or things like my teacher desk. And then I don't really love what I did quite as much because I don't feel so good.
And cue the panic dreams, right? Like, see you later. So yeah, to overview here, pick the things that matter to you the most. Pick the priorities, and maybe it's like one decor thing, one organization thing, and one teacher space thing or something like that. And that will really set you up for success and give you room to grow, because then you also won't get to the point where you realize something you made is completely useless.
Yes.
2 months or 2 weeks down the line, you'll be like, I see now how I'm going to do that even better, because now I'm actually doing the things and making the things happen.
Well, and one of the things we really prioritize over in happy hour, so we've been talking a little bit about happy hour for you all who are ready to kind of go the next level with us. One of the things that we do there differently than we do at BNT is we really focus on organizational and structural tools that can help you get a better sense of all of that. We talk about it in the big picture on the podcast, but in happy hour, that's where we really look at our Trello boards, our Google Calendar, right? We use these tools to help us feel like we've got that stuff under control. And I think you guys especially are going to feel really good about what you have once you're kind of go through all your stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, friends, we will see you again tomorrow, where we are talking about community building from the get-go. But until then, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye. Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here, and have a great week at school.